Hey guys, Mr. Bowman here. Today we are learning how to solve multi-step equations, and we have 4 examples that we're going to run through to help this. So before we get into this, can you please pause the video and write down that learning objective? You may also want to write down the 4 examples, but please leave 5 or 6 lines between each of the examples because we will need all of that for our working. All right, pause now. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully we got the learning objective and the 4 examples down. Our starting point needs to be BEDMAS. It's very important for number. It's also very important in algebra as well. We also need to think about what is our goal or what is our objective in algebra. Our objective is always to get the x by itself. And we can see each equation has an x, and we need to do certain mathematical operations to get that x by itself. And our goal is to have a final line of working that is equal to x equals a number. So let's dive into it. Let's give the first one a go. So number 1, we've got x divided by 3 minus 7. That is going to be equal to 5. Our goal is to get that x by itself, which means we need to get rid of that divided by 3, and we need to get rid of that negative 7. So our starting point is s. We need to ask ourselves, are either of these subtraction? In our case, yes, that minus 7 is subtraction. So we need to move that one first. We can't move the 3, we have to move that 7 first. The opposite of subtract 7 is plus 7. So we are going to add 7 to both sides of our equation. That is, we need to add 7 to the left-hand side of the equal sign and the right-hand side of the equal sign. We're then going to simplify that. So that x divided by 3, we haven't changed that. The minus 7 and the plus 7, they're going to cancel each other out. And that is going to leave us with 5 plus 7 on the other side, and that's 12. Once we've done one step, we need to start at our BEDMAS again. Is there any subtraction left? No. Is there any addition? I can't see any addition there. Any multiplication? Still no multiplication. Division? Yes. So we have that x there. That x is being divided by 3, so we need to get rid of that divided by 3. And the opposite of a divide by 3 is a times 3. So we have to times both sides by 3. We then have to simplify our answer because we've done some working. So the divided by 3 and the times 3, they're going to cancel each other out. That just leaves x. And that's exactly what we want to do. If we look up the top, we need x by itself. And we've done that. And we then worry about the right-hand side. 12 times 3 becomes 36. And we've solved our first equation. We now are going to move on to the second question, and we need to consider the same process. The first thing is we need to inspect our question. What are we dealing with? What do we need to remove? So we've got a 2. Because there's no plus sign or minus sign or divide by sign, we know that's going to be a times. And we've also got that 7, which is a minus 7. So let's jump into BEDMAS. So the first step is, do we have any subtraction? Well, technically we do. We've got that minus 7 within the bracket, but the problem is brackets is the very last thing we're allowed to look at. So we can't get to that negative 7 until we've unlocked them. So we can't deal with that 7 yet, but we can deal with that 2 out front. We said before that 2 is a times 2, so we need to remove that 2 by doing the opposite, which is a divided by 2. And because we've done it to the left-hand side, we must do it to the other side. we then look to simplify. So that times 2 and divided by 2 are going to cancel each other out. That unlocks the bracket. So we're going to write the bracket x minus 7. That is equal to 6 divided by 2, which is 3. We go back to our BEDMAS. Is there any subtraction? Yes, we've unlocked that bracket, so we can get to that subtraction. So we're going to go plus 7 to get rid of the minus 7, and plus 3 on the other side as well. That means x is equal to 10, because the minus 7 and the plus 7, they cancel each other out, leaving the x, and the plus 7 and the 3, they come to 10. And if you got that, well done, nice tick. Now we're ramping up difficulty again, so I'm just going to remove our BEDMAS stuff. We've now got tons of different numbers. We've got a 2, we've got a 4, and we've got a 3. We need to figure out what order do we want to get them out. So the first step is we need to remember division has invisible brackets. So we need to put in our invisible brackets to make sure we're following our BEDMAS properly. Okay, so the first step, let's follow on. Is there any subtraction? Yes, there is subtraction, but that's locked away in our bracket. Is there any addition? No addition. Is there any multiplication? Yes, that 2 is a multiplication, but again, it's locked away within our bracket, so we can't get to that. Do we have any division? We do. Divide by 3. To get rid of that divide by 3, we have to do the opposite, which is times 3. And because we've done it to one side, we need to do it to the other side. And we then look to simplify. So that divide by 3 and times 3 are going to cancel each other out, and that unlocks the bracket. So 2x minus 4, that is going to be equal to 8 times 3, which is 24. The next step is starting again with our BEDMAS. So let's rub out all this. We've unlocked the bracket. We've got to start again. Is there any subtraction? Yes, there is. We can get to that minus 4 now. We want to get rid of that minus 4 by doing the opposite, which is plus 4. We do it to one side. We must do it to the other. Let's look to simplify. Minus 4 and plus 4, they cancel each other out, leaving 2x. And 24 plus 4 becomes 28. And we've only got one thing left now, that 2 we need to get rid of. We're going to get rid of that by dividing both sides by 2. And that means x is going to be equal to 14. So if you got that, give yourself a tick as well. And the final question, it's a bit of a hard one, tons of steps. Let's go through. Our job, we're trying to get x by itself. We've got a times 2, a minus 1, that minus 1 stuck in a bracket, and a plus 6. Let's try to remove them step by step. First step is there a subtraction? Yes, but again, that subtraction is stuck in our bracket, so we can't get to that. Is there an addition? Yes, there is, that plus 6. So that's the first one we want to get rid of. The opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. So we have to subtract 6 from both sides. That leaves 2, and then in brackets, x minus 1 on the left-hand side. And that leaves 10 minus 6, which comes to 4 on the right-hand side. Because we've done a line of working, we've got to start our BEDMAS process again. Is there any subtraction? Yes, but that subtraction is still locked away in a bracket. Is there any addition? No addition anymore. Is there any multiplication? Yes, there is. We now need to get rid of that multiplication by doing the opposite. The opposite of times 2 is divided by 2, so we're going to divide both sides by 2. The times 2 and the divide by 2, they're going to cancel each other out, and that unlocks our bracket. And we do the math on the other side. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Because we've done a line of working, we need to start our BEDMAS again. Is there any subtraction? Yes, that's the only thing left, which is good. So that plus 1 has the effect of cancelling out the -1 we're trying to get rid of. And we got to do +1 on the other side as well. And that means x is equal to 3. So give yourself a tick if you've got that. So hopefully this explanation of multi-step equations was useful. The key thing I'm looking for you guys to remember is the name of the game is to get x by itself, and we've done that in all 4 equations. And then how we do that is by removing the numbers around the x by using the reverse BEDMAS method. All right, best of luck with your questions.